wonderful viewers. Welcome to another episode of our conversation or discussion. My name is Pastor Prinzvan. Introduce yourself.
My name is Miss Abigail, and as you heard earlier, I can also call me Lady Prinzvan. I'm a member of Assemblies of God, Ghana, Unity, Alabama chapter. I'm currently doing my national service as a trained teacher. That's all.
Wow, wonderful. God bless you. Ecclesiastes 12:13 really says something that I want to read out before we begin. He said, "Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandment. For this is the duty of all mankind." And this really brings the book to a profound conclusion. After all these musings of vanity and fleeting nature of life, Solomon distills everything down to two key points. Fear God and keep his commandment. But how do we encourage our congregations to actually live this out?
It is interesting because Ecclesiastes explores so many different aspects of life work, leisure, wisdom, wealth, yet in the end, it is not complicated. Like you said, it is a return to the basics. Fearing God, I believe, is about reverence and recognizing his sovereignty. It is more than being afraid. It is having awe and deep respect for him. When we teach people this, we help them reframe their understanding of God, not as distant, but as someone to be honored above everything.
I think that's something many believers struggle with today, recognizing God's authority in a culture that prioritizes individual autonomy. But fearing God means we acknowledge that he knows best and his ways are higher. In practical terms, it's about surrendering control. The fear of God isn't just emotional, but intellectual too. It shapes our decisions, attitude, and how we approach daily life. What do you see about that?
Yes. And the second part, keeping his commandments, is equally important. It's about living out that reverence. It is interesting because Solomon doesn't specify which commandments here, but I think this reinforces the idea that it's a holistic obedience, whether it's how we treat our neighbors, manage our resources, or live out our faith in the workplace. It all comes back to God's commands.
Wow, this is a good point. Keeping his commandment today might seem hard a bit in a world with competing moralities. People are constantly bombarded by messages of self-fulfillment, success, and living your truth. But this verse reminds us that living alignment with God's will, what truly gives life meaning, even when everything else seems uncertain.
Exactly. And as pastors, we need to help people see that obedience to God isn't restrictive, it is freeing. When we fear God and obey him, it actually leads to peace because we know we are living in the purpose we were created for. I often remind my congregation that obedience to God's command is what gives their life direction and purpose in a world full of chaos.
That's such a good point also, obedience as freedom. So how do you think we can apply this to our sermons or teachings? How do we inspire our congregation to fear God and to keep his commandments in their everyday life?
I think we need to start by giving people practical examples. For example, fearing God might look like making tough ethical choices at work, or prioritizing family time over work demands as an act of obedience. And we need to emphasize that God's commandments aren't burdensome, but are life-giving, as 1 John 5:3 reminds us.
Real life example makes it relatable. And maybe we can also challenge our congregation to reflect on their lives and identify areas where they are not living in reverence or obedience to God, whether it's in their relationship, finance, or spiritual discipline. Asking them to commit to small, actionable change might help them align more with Ecclesiastes 12:13. What do you see about that too?
That's a great idea. We should encourage them to see every act of obedience as worship, whether it's being faithful in their work, generous with their resources, or kind to their neighbors. Fearing God and keeping His commandments isn't just for Sunday, it's a 24/7 way of life.
Right, it's a mindset shift. It transforms how we live daily and help us find meaning in the mindset of life's fleeting nature. I think that's the core of Ecclesiastes' message. Life might be short, but living it with reverence and obedience gives it eternal significance. What do you have to say here too?
Exactly, and that's the message we need to keep sharing. True purpose is found in relationship with God. Honoring Him with every part of our lives. Fear God and keep His commandments. That is the foundation for a life that matters.
God bless you, woman of God. Above all, you must fear God and keep His commandments. God bless you guys for watching. We will come your way another time with another episode. See you.
It's not meant to be, but I swear